We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show, episode 395. I'm your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. Joining us this week is the reigning, defending, undisputed OG scholar himself, the one and only Scholar Tarek. Scholar Tarek, how is your evening going, sir? And was that intro to your liking?
I think that intro was very good. That was a nice intro. It made me feel good. It was, might as well just be setting off fireworks of just how great of an intro that was. That was the oomph I was looking for. An intro to your Scholars of Wrestling Heavyweight Champion of the World.
Delightful. I'm so glad the champ is happy today.
I'm gonna give you an A- for that pause.
Hey, sometimes the delivery is we're not perfect here, sir. Okay. But speaking of perfection, also joining us this week, the one and only Scholar Brian. Scholar Brian, how is your evening going, sir?
It's here to show the world.
It's been going pretty good. I'm very happy that in my absence, my tag team partner has been able to grab back what is rightfully one of ours. Okay, I've been holding it down for about a year and a half now, but I'm glad that in my illness and my sickness and my time off, that my tag team partner could take it home and hold it the way that champions and OG scholars do.
Well, that's just how we are as the undisputed scholars. We just continue to show dominance on this show.
Delightful. And speaking of delightful, last but not least, also joining us this week, Scholar Jeremy himself. Scholar Jeremy, how is your evening going, sir?
The coach is doing good. I'm sorry, OG Scholars. It's time for the new generation to come in and finally claim what's rightfully his. We got Clash of the Castle. We got All Out. We got a week and worth of wrestling, gentlemen. Let's do this.
The future is now, old man.
It is. How many times I have to teach this lesson?
You know, he was including you to that old man discussion.
No, he's not new. He's not the OG Scholar.
Don't care.
Technically, you were. He's OG Scholar. You are one of them. He's talking his shit.
We are.
You're not in the, forget it. You're not in the tag. No. I was trying to.
No. There's a difference with OG scholars. There's a difference of OG scholars, which is me, Brian, and Jeff. But there is one OG undisputed scholar.
And there's one person who doesn't care, and that's me.
Oh.
Okay.
And hey,
gentlemen.
He's talking his shit. He's talking his shit, and I respect it. Now, can he back it up? That's the real question.
We'll certainly find out this weekend.
After what happened on Dynamite, I got some major confidence coming this week, boys.
Oh, yes.
There is one thing that we have to at least agree on before we get started. Can we at least call this weekend Rockin' Wrestling Weekend?
I'm down with that.
Jeff knows what I'm talking about.
Jeff does not know anything.
Exactly. You don't understand the reference.
Just watch. Just skip 20 minutes into this episode, then I'll finally get it. Yes, there's a whole lot of wrestling this weekend and a whole lot of prediction going on. I'm sorry, fool. I know I'm laying you down. But
when you actually realize what the reference is, then you will be disappointed in yourself as well.
Indeed, I shall. But until that day, I remain undisappointed and very curious to know what the gauntlet is for this weekend's title defense and how it's all going to go down. Champ, pitch it over to you. How's it going to go work?
Well, how the Rockin' Wrestling Weekend is going to go, I threw a challenge last week for Scholar Jeremy and the Mr. Scholar in the Bank, a.k.a. the Scholars of Wrestling Party Champion, a.k.a. Scholar Charlie. Since I felt a little sorry the fact that those two didn't go for the title at SummerSlam, I decided to be a generous champion and throw out a challenge for them. I want them to go one-on-one at Clash of the Castle for a number one contender for the Scholars of Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. And the winner of those two gets to face yours truly for AEW All Out.
All right. So in that case, we got
Dance.
Before we even get to All Out this weekend, we also have to put some predictions down for WWE's Clash of the Castle. So with no further ado, let's just dive right into it. The first match on the card, we've got the Mysterios going up against the Judgment Day in a tag match. Tarek, it's your pick up first. You're the champ. What do you got for this one?
I'm really happy that I'm actually going first on this one because I just have a whole prediction, one giant prediction for this one. I am predicting that Judgment Day is going to win when we finally get to see Dominic Mysterio turn on his father to join up with Rhea Ripley. They've been hinting at it for weeks now, and it's all going to just build up to the next night on Raw, where Rhea Ripley is finally going to give Dominic Mysterio a mask. And then it turns out to be a Gimp mask.
All right, Brian, I got nothing to add to that. Brian, it's your pick next. Who do you got?
He's not going to be Dom any after this one.
The
jokes write themselves, kids.
Indeed. And in that fashion, I agree that Judgment Day is going to win. And I'm not going to go as far as Tarek did. But because every time we say Dominic is going to turn, he doesn't turn. So I'm not going to predict it anymore. And then maybe when I stop predicting it, it'll actually happen.
Come on, Brian. We all know that Dominic has a reason to turn.
I understand. I understand that. And anyone who had their head in that specific position would do the same thing.
But they would.
But here's the deal. Okay, as I said, I'm a superstitious man. Okay, I've been saying it for the past few months now that every time Rey Mysterio is in a match that Dom Mysterio is anywhere near it, that Dom Mysterio is going to turn. So I'm not going to say it this time. So maybe it'll actually happen. That's it. No.
Yeah, on that note, I am going to third that pick. I'm also going with the Judgment Day, and I'm going to cautiously be looking ahead to how weird it's going to get.
It's going to be
Jaybird,
very weird.
Don't eyebrow your eyebrows at me. Jeremy, how's this going to go? Do we have a consensus or what?
You sons of bitches. You did this to me at SummerSlam. We went reverse picks last time. I'm going to do it again this time. I'm going to actually go against myself, and I'm going to pick Rey Mysterio and Edge to win. Sons of bitches. You did this to me you did me SummerSlam, you
right.
sons of bitches. I swear to God. We went reverse
Not that
picks
there's
last
any
time.
bitterness here or anything.
So we already know who's not going to be facing Tarek. No,
God, the next generation of scholars is going to be very bitter.
Bitter or determined? Hey.
With how he just reacted with that one, bitter.
Well, speaking of bitter, we've got our next match on the card, which is one of the more interesting ones, in my opinion. We've got the Intercontinental Champion, Gunther, defending his title against Sheamus. Brian, it's your pick up first for this one. Who you got?
This is going to be awesome in every sense of the word. Just two big men just beating the shit out of each other overseas. But yeah, it's not time yet. It's Gunther. I love Sheamus. I love what he's been doing. I love what he's done in the last couple of years. And I understand what they're going for with the whole Ultimate Grand Slam Championship thing. There's time for that. Okay, it's not now. Gunther just won this thing. Okay, he should hold it for a while. I'm not saying he should hold it the way that he held the NXT UK title, but WrestleMania, I give him to that, and then lose the Intercontinental title to a come up instead of this. This is a showcase match, just two big men just chopping and beating the shit out of each other, and Gunther's gonna win.
That I agree with, both agree and disagree with you. I don't think it's going to be all about the spectacle. I feel like this match is going to be all about elevating Gunther. This is going to be a star-making turn for the guy on the main roster, which he was always worthy of, but I don't think he really got that extra oomph that he really deserved. Does that necessarily mean he's going to win this in doing so? Not necessarily. I think there's a good, strong chance that Sheamus could pull this out, and then he sort of gets a tip of the cap, and then there he goes on his merry way. What I will agree with you is that I don't think it's going to happen tonight. There's a chance, but I just personally don't think it's likely, so I'm going to go with Gunther to win. Jaybird, it's your pick up next. Who you got for this one?
I keep thinking about SummerSlam 92 with the Intercontinental title change there. And there's something in my head that's telling me they're going to do it one more time because you had the British Bulldog beat Bret Hart. I'm just thinking something in my head is telling me that Sheamus is going to win the IC title, but something in my gut is telling me to go with Gunther. If I shoot myself in my foot, I'm going to go with Sheamus because if you're going to go with the Ultimate Grand Slam Championship, it's going to become full circle where Sheamus is going to lose the IC title to John Cena down the line. There you go.
All right. And last but not least, Tarek, it's your pick for this one. Who you got between Gunther and Sheamus?
Wow, Jeremy, you really had me until you threw Sheamus losing the title to John Cena.
You had me at the finger guns. That's
Finger
why you watch the
guns
YouTube
get-
version, people.
Finger guns get everybody.
to an extent, I agree with what everyone has said. To an extent. I do agree that Sheamus is definitely going to win the Intercontinental Championship before his time is done. It's not going to be this weekend. I actually believe that this is probably going to go into a lengthy feud between these two. But this one is one where, as Jeff put it, it's a showcase for Walter. I'm not calling him that. I know that even he's okay with it. I'm not. This is a showcase for Walter for the mainstream audience. He had that time. He had a time to shine when he was in NXT UK for the UK audience, and he flourished. Now it's the time for the people here in the States to actually see what he's capable of. And yeah, this is definitely going to be a showcase for him. He's going to come out this looking super. He's going to be super strong and like definitely having Sheamus put him over. But it doesn't mean Sheamus is not going to win the Intercontinental Championship before his time in ring is done. It is inevitable with Sheamus winning the Intercontinental Championship. Honestly, no matter what outcome it is of this match is, I'm going to be very happy because it's two guys that I absolutely love fighting for a title that I absolutely love on a pay-per-view, nonetheless. And that is something that hasn't happened with the Intercontinental Championship for a really long time. I actually looked this up when the last time the Intercontinental Championship was actually defended on a pay-per-view or a premium event, whatever. I think it was coming up to 2 years. But yeah, I'm going to go with Walter on this one. This is the match I'm looking forward to the most. And
all right,
even if it wasn't for the Intercontinental Championship, just these two alone have it for me.
and I certainly couldn't disagree with you there. It's certainly a contender. However, my opinion is a little bit different. My most anticipated match for Clash of the Castle is going to be this one. We're not getting Riddle versus Seth freaking Rollins. No, the name changes have taken effect. We're getting Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins. Straight up grudge match promo of the week, dare I say. And for this one, I'm going to go with Matt Riddle. Just the comeuppance is going to be so sweet. Seth Rollins is Teflon heel material. And oh boy, I love their segments. I love their promos. Everything about this was great. And I love that Matt Riddle is getting his first name back. And hopefully this weekend, he's going to get a win against Seth Rollins. Jaybird, what do you got for this one?
I agree definitely with you, Jeff. I'm gonna have to go with Matt Riddle after that amazing promo that popped up on my Twitter. I'm like, okay, you have my attention once again, so let's give Riddle a win.
All right. Over to you, Tarek. Who do you got between Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins?
This one's actually kind of difficult for me because, excuse me, because I do agree Matt Riddle does really need the win considering how long this feud has been going on, and it's in a way have been one-sided, especially how this feud began. But there's also the fact of I actually don't even really remember the last time Seth actually won a pay-per-view match.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to have to choose, which I'm going to have to, I'm going to go with Matt Riddle.
All right. And kicking over to you, Brian. Who you got between Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins?
Well, you know what? I have no stakes in this game. So I'm going to pull a Jaybird. Here's the deal. All right. This feud has been going on a long time. This is the first match that they've had. It's been going on for what, like 6 weeks to 2 months now. This is the first match they've had. I don't think that this is the end of the feud. Okay, so it's like I think you do logical storytelling here. Matt Riddle's gonna win the feud. He doesn't have to win the first match. We forget, okay, that even though the feud's been going on for 2 months, they haven't had a one-on-one match yet. Okay, so it's one of those. I think this goes on, and I think we get a grudge match, a no DQ or a falls count anywhere after this. But I think Seth Rollins pulls some shady shit and gets one over on Matt Riddle here. Because remember, he's already in Matt Riddle's head with what Matt Riddle had a great promo, but how Seth Rollins ended it, he's in Matt Riddle's head right now. So it would be very easy to trip him up and get him in a bullshit pin or something like that. I could see something like that happening, and then we get a rematch where Matt Riddle gets the ultimate victory.
All right. Now with this one, we also have another match, a 6-woman trios match. We've got Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka going up against Bayley, Dakota Guy, and Io Sky. Jaybird, it's your pick up first. Who do you got for this one?
I'm going against myself. I'm going to go with the heels. I'm going to go with Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky for the win. They just got brought up at SummerSlam, and I definitely think they deserve a win against 3 of the top women in AEW, WWE. So let's go with them.
All right. Got a pick for them, but now, because we got to have some tiebreakers in the wings, this is going to be our match for Clash of the Castle for the tiebreaker pick. So that means only one thing. We're going to the random spinning wheel. Wheel of Wrestlers, turn, or spin. Tell us the wrestler that really should win. And for Jaybird, his random pick is Bayley.
Yes. Okay. I got a chance.
All right. We're going back to Tarek for this one. Who is your pick?
I actually think you do have a chance with that one, Jeremy. because I'm also going to go with the heels to win on this one. Did they officially announce their name? Because I know it was talks about it being Damage Control.
I just heard
they haven't
Control.
they haven't officially announced anything.
Okay. Okay, but yeah,
I'm just
I'm gonna
doing Team
choose.
Bailey and Team Bianca at this rate.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go Bailey and Kai and Sky to
And Sky, like it.
with indeed.
Why does that work? Good heavens.
Why?
They're gonna take the win, and my prediction of how that's gonna go is Bailey's gonna pin Bianca Belair.
Interesting.
And in all honesty, I feel like they need the win, especially since they were the leading contenders to win the tag title tournament, and then instead we get Raquel Gonzalez and Aaliyah winning it for
I feel like
reasons.
we would be here for hours talking about that one. But in the meantime, we got a random pick going on.
For Charlie.
Oh, he'll get his too, don't worry. And the random pick for you, Tarek, is Bianca Belair.
Oh,
Going completely opposite from the pick.
Wait, why am I getting a spin?
Because everyone's getting a pick.
Oh,
Everyone's getting a pick, even if it doesn't apply, it'll still eliminate picks from the board. Besides, it's all in fun anyway. Brian, it's your pick for next. Who you got?
Well, I will also agree because, as said, okay, they just got bought up at SummerSlam. It was a big deal. It was supposed to be a big deal. Okay, but been kind of tame since then. So let's do something big. Let's have them get one over on. I don't know if Bianca Belair actually gets pinned, but I'm definitely gonna go with the heels to win. I think they need it. And nothing else to me makes sense unless they start off the show and want a babyface pup because they're gonna fuck over the audience later.
All right, random wheel time. Let's go. Press the button. Wheel of wrestlers. Spin, spin, spin. Tell us the wrestler that really should win. And Brian's random shot is Io Sky.
All right.
she's
At least
good.
I'm on the right team. No.
And because I'm a big old coward, I'm not going to deviate from the norm on this one. I also will go with Team Bailey to win. I feel like they're due, especially since they got hosed out of the tag titles. Now, let's see if Fate has the same thing in mind for me. My random pick will be I got Asuka for this one.
I knew you were gonna get Asuka. I knew it.
Right, and Scholar Charlie is on assignment. His random pick will be done right now, right
Give
here,
Dakota
right
Kai.
now.
Give him Dakota Kai.
Which one is he going to get? And the winner is it's Alexa Bliss.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Okay, we'll get his full predictions later on, probably offline.
See what happens, Charlie, when you're not on Scholars of Wrestling, you get screwed.
But yes, that will bring us over to our next match. We've got Liv Morgan defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Shayna Baszler. Supposedly a much more reinvigorated Shayna Baszler, it seems. Tarek, your pick up first. Who do you got between this one?
With this one, it's kind of challenging because I kind of would want to say Shayna should win because they're kind of reinventing her character under the Triple H regime. But then there's also the fact of Liv Morgan. Her character got seriously hurt after her SummerSlam match with Ronda Rousey. I think they're saving that. I think they're saving a rematch for that one. I'm going to go with Liv Morgan successfully retaining.
Okay, Brian, it's your pick up next. Who do you got?
Yeah, it's like I I think the more riveting story for me going into further pay-per-views would be Shayna Baszler versus Ronda Rousey. But as Tarek said, they did almost irreparable damage to Liv Morgan based off of just the SummerSlam match alone. Okay, so they have to run that back and actually give it a real match. So I'm gonna have to agree and say Liv Morgan here.
Yeah, this one in my mind is fairly cut and dry. As much as I'd love to see a newly reinvigorated Shayna Baszler grab the belt and run with it, knowing WWE's track record, even in a Triple H headed generation, some things are going to change, some things are going to remain the same. And I think Liv being treated to the top of the card, at least for now, is going to remain the same. Jaybird, it's your final pick. Do we have a consensus?
Yes, we do. I like Shayna Baszler has grown on me over the last couple of years, but after what happened at SummerSlam, Liv needs that win. She needs a good match to really reestablish herself and just show she can beat someone who's like a full MMA fighter. So let's go with Liv.
You
All
had the
right.
video of her training with Matt Riddle, so that
I
may
saw that.
count for
That was
something.
clutch. I like that. That was clutch.
All right. That will bring us to our main event for Clash of the Castle. Roman Reigns, the champion, defending his titles, plural, against Drew McIntyre. Brian, it's your pick up next. Who do you got?
I will say this. For the first time in 2 years, I have doubt about what I'm about to pick.
That is fair.
But I'm like I think they're gonna send the crowds. I think they're gonna send the crowd home angry. I think they're gonna send the crowd home upset. It's just one of those like I love Drew to the like he's up at the top, but I don't think he's the guy to take both titles off. I'm still if it's not gonna be Seth Rollins who's the champion going into WrestleMania again, you you know Cody Rhodes is challenging at WrestleMania. If it's not gonna be Cody Rhodes, if it's not gonna be Seth Rollins, I need it to be Roman Reigns, and I need Cody Rhodes to be the guy to take it off for Roman Reigns. So I love Drew McIntyre. I just I also want to see it. I want to see like I've never seen England. I've never seen overseas people mad. It's like I want to see it. I want it to be visceral. I want to see it. So yeah, I'm going with Roman Reigns to retain one more time.
You want
I
angry Miz girl, don't you?
I want thousands of angry of angry of angry of
I'll tell
angry
you
Drew girls.
what. If this all goes this way, you may not get angry Miz girls. You're going to get a bunch of angry soccer hooligans who are just at the wrong show. But unfortunately, honestly, I feel like I too am conflicted about this. Where you could make a prediction for Drew McIntyre to take it, and you probably couldn't be wrong. Like there's a lot of ways that Cody, I agree, Cody is going to be in the title picture sooner rather than later. But the question is when. And I feel like you could very easily put him in at any point, depending on how far along he's in recovery. You could do it, you can put him back on Survivor Series. You could do it at the Royal Rumble. Unfortunately, I don't think that's what's going to happen here. I came very close to picking Drew, but I got to go with Roman on this one. I'm convinced that the big money match is going to be Roman versus Cody for the title. May not be today, maybe not tomorrow, but I'm thinking that's where they're going to go. Jay Bird, your pick up next. What do you got?
This was tough. This was tough because they did a very good job building up Drew from SummerSlam till now. He's in the UK. It's his time to shine. He's my wife's favorite WWE wrestler, but I got to go with a Roman retain. As much as I'm a huge Drew fan and I want to see that Claymore kick, it's going to be a spirit of victory. It's going to be Roman retaining one more time because we got to have the American Nightmare take that belt off of him.
And Tarek, do we have an accord?
Absolutely not.
Motherfucker, I knew he was going to do that.
Interesting.
They built Drew so hard and given him so much momentum going into this show. I think it would be fucking stupid to have him lose. It would be a terrible decision. And I do gotta give respect to Cody for what he's done at Hell in the Cell. But I don't want him to be the one to take the title off Roman. I don't think he's earned that at all. And just actually thinking, just the thought of it, just having it's like all that just so Cody, just the man who dropped the sledgehammer onto the throne. And how do you reward that? By giving him the top title? I just think that's just dumb. Especially when you have him overthrow someone like who they have so hard to go on. I feel like Drew really has to win.
And again, I wouldn't disagree with you.
With the whole reports on how with how the reports of just how they're talking about taking the title off Roman. This is not Vince McMahon WWE. This is not just getting as much heat as possible. It's not that kind of thing. This is their first UK show in a long time.
SummerSlam 92.
A long time. 30 years. This is something where Drew was built. Yeah, again, the momentum was so much built on this one, where there's only so far he's won the world title, but it's in front of screens. He's never had that moment of winning the title in front of thousands of screaming fans. And with how much they're just building his character from the guy who was supposed to be the chosen one, who was inevitably fired, to rebuilding himself to come back to WWE and have that moment. That's just the storytelling where it has to be done.
Yeah.
And with the promo is just saying that for Roman to take his entire family and more to take down Brock Lesnar, something that he did with his bare hands. Again, it's just I can't like see the Vince McMahon get as much heat as possible with this one.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you completely. It's just one of those things where, look, I'm not gonna completely believe it until I've seen it in a match. I've seen it with the returns. I've seen it with the logical storylines. I've seen it with the logical buildup. But until I see it with the actual match, then I'm not gonna believe it until it actually happens.
And I think they built Drew so well that it really is it's that time.
So it's like I as I said, I love Drew. I hope you're right. It's just one of those things. I'm not gonna believe it until I actually see it with my own eyes. I see the returns. I see the logical storytelling. I see how good the show's been since Triple H has taken over. Now show me how your actual main event is gonna be run.
And with that, you said, see how the main event is going to be run. This is now the time where the main event is not only Roman Reigns. You have
valid
Drew
prediction.
McIntyre. You have the inevitable Kevin Owens. You have the Karrion Kross. You now are building a main event that's not centered around one man. And that is the sign of what's to come.
Damn it, I totally forgot about Karrion Kross.
And Tark, I will say, if Drew does win, I will not be upset, even though I will lose a point in that category, but I'll be very happy if Drew wins. Tell him to go for it, but I'm just kind of hoping I get that point. But you made a very good valid point, sir. Well done.
And I hope he comes out to Broken Dreams.
If he comes out to Broken Dreams,
game over. That's it. That's a game over right there.
Yeah, that's it.
I'll tell you what, this conversation has made me anticipate this main event even more on Saturday.
And that's for a WWE show.
Yep.
Remember that.
In the Triple H era, so it's not that unbelievable anymore. But either way, we still have a whole lot of wrestling this weekend, and we still have a whole lot of matches to predict. Oh, yes. We also have AEW All Out, and the future, possibly, of the Scholars of Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship will be determined at this show. So let's dive right into it, starting with the pre-show matches first. We've got Hook going up against Angelo Parker on the pre-show. My pick, I'm just going to say it. Hook is going to dominate. It's going to be a nice little showcase. Moving on, Jaybird, who do you got between Hook and Angelo Parker?
Send Hook. No, hands down, no question. No way. No way he's losing.
Short and sweet, I like it. Tarek, who do you got?
Hook. Da, 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 da.
Brian, are you a hooker or are you not a hooker?
Definitely a hooker.
Nice.
No, I'm not TJ Hooker.
No, I'm TJ Hooker.
You're
TJ
Hooker. I'm just a hooker.
No, remember, you're B-Lion.
Wow.
Deep cuts. All right. Next match on the pre-show, we've got for the AEW All Atlantic Championship, we've got Pac defending his championship against the returning Kip Sabian. Jaybird, it's your pick up first. Who you got?
I knew I was going to get this match. Oh,
don't think that hard. It's not tough.
I think it is. With that story they built with Kip Sabian, him being in the background for over a year with a box on his head.
Not tough.
It just makes sense to give it to him after everything he's been through. He deserves it, but I'm going to take the coward's way out and go with Pac.
Damn it, Jaybird, you almost had me.
I respect it.
All right, get your pick up next. Just go.
That was good. That was good. Oh man, he just dandied us. Oh.
I consider that a personal affront, and your challenge is accepted. Tarek, what's your pick?
I'm gonna go with Pac successfully retaining. I mean, this is the first time that the All Atlantic Championship has been defended on a AEW show. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Pac successfully defending. He's gonna hold on to that belt for a while.
Yeah.
Brian, who do you got for this one?
It's not the coward's way out when it's 100% facts. There's no way that Pac is losing this match at All Out. I'm sorry. I enjoyed Kip Sabian with the paper bag over his head. I enjoy him when he's in the ring. Nah, buddy. Pac's holding this for a while. Pac wins.
You know what? I am going to go against the grain when there's absolutely no stakes for me personally. I'm going to go with Kip Sabian. I feel like they've been drawing this out for so long that for him to just finally take off the box off of his head with all the build-up and all this new edge to his character that they've been giving him, I feel like for him to lose right now is going to be a massive mistake. And Pac, in my mind, is Teflon. I know not everyone is going to have that same opinion, but I think he can afford to take the loss. I feel like Kip Sabian needs it that much more. Kip Sabian is going to win it.
Jeff, I hope you're all right because he fucking deserves that shit.
Indeed, he does. Now we're going to go over to the next match on the final match of the pre-show. It's the one Tarek has most absolutely been looking forward to out of all of them. We've got Eddie Kingston versus Tomohiro Ishii. Tarek, who do you got?
That's right. This match is Kingston. Because why not?
Brian, who do you got?
Considering I like these two guys more than Tarek ever could. That's it.
I don't think that's saying much.
Indeed. I don't know the beef, but yeah, it's gonna be Kingston. The no Japan guy has ever come over and won in a one-on-one match. And when they came over and won in the tag team match, they didn't get the pin. So it's like no Japan guy is coming in and winning.
I'll tell you what, I love Ishii. I love Eddie Kingston. But especially after all the fallout happened with him and Sammy Guevara, or even with not, I just like Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston for the win. Jaybird, who do you got?
Tomohiro Ishii won the first match. Kingston's got to get the win back. I'm going to go with Eddie Kingston.
All right, and there you have it.
My boy.
Next match
Kingston
on the card.
Is on the pre-show where he belongs.
Ooh.
Well, that's just like your opinion.
Got a little cold
someone
in
needs
here.
a nap.
I'll tell you what.
I'm well rested when it comes to Kingston.
Let's jump right up to the main card here. Let's go to the TBS Championship match where Jade Cargill is going to be defending her title against Athena. Brian, it's your pick up next. Who do you got?
I don't think Jade Cargill loses this title for a long time. I love Athena. I loved her when she was Ember Moon. I love her now. Sorry about it. You're building Jade Cargill up to be your star. When it comes to the end game, she's the one that you want to be on top of your division. That's what you've been building. That's what you've been doing. Okay. She's not losing right now. She's on top of her game. Athena's this is basically a build match. Athena's gonna make her look good. Gonna make her look peak. Jade Cargill makes herself look good, but but this is to make her look at the top of her game. This is to give her best match that she's had since she's been here. That's the goal. Athena's not coming in here to win. Jade Cargill wins this match.
I'll tell you what, I absolutely agree with you that Jade Cargill is the woman to beat in a lot of respects, which is exactly why I'm going with Athena, not necessarily for her to step up to the next level, but it's going to be all about Jade. And really her dropping the TBS title is going to be the first step on the path to her eventually getting the main AEW Women's Championship. Because once this Fatal 4-Way and all the title itself is decided, there's going to be a threat on the horizon. That somewhere, somehow, whoever the champ is going to be is going to have to run smack first into Jade Cargill. And then Jade Cargill is eventually going to take that women's championship and be the face of the women's division, like she pretty much already is with all of her appearances and all that. So I'm going to go against the grain on this one. I'm going to go with Athena to win. Jaybird, who do you got?
I love this story because you've seen Cargill with that title and she's beaten everyone. They brought in Statlander, they brought in Madison Rayne, Anna Jay. They had all these great stars come in and face her. No one can stop her. But once I heard Fallen Goddess come out, I looked at my TV and I said, that's the one. I'm going with you, Jeff. Athena's going to take that belt off Cargill. She can do it. You're going to take a smaller honey badger taking down a bear, and the friggin' honey badger is going to fucking win.
Very interesting. Tarek, do we have a split room?
I will say, of all the people they threw at Jade Cargill, Athena has been the one that's been built the best as someone who can take the title off her. And stemming from what you and I have talked last week on the show, Fool, talking about Jade Cargill and just where she can go once the title is off her, I think that's going to happen a lot sooner than we talked about. So I'm going to go with Athena winning the championship off Jade Cargill.
Wow, I didn't see that one coming.
Nor did I. But anything can happen in this world, in the world of professional wrestling. Speaking of anything that can happen, we've got our next match. We've got Ricky Starks in a grudge match against his former boy, Powerhouse Hobbs. For this one, I've got first pick. This one can go either way, in my opinion, but I think it's going to go with Ricky Starks, just because I feel like Powerhouse Hobbs has had a couple squash matches to really showcase him. And meanwhile, Ricky Starks, I feel, is ready to go up to the next level. This feud is nowhere near done. I think Hobbs is going to get his rubber match, and this is going to be a trilogy. But for now, I'm going to go with Ricky Starks. Jaybird, what do you think?
I'm actually opposite on this one because I think Powerhouse Hobbs needs a push. Like he's been in the background for so long, and even though Starks got beat up a week or so ago on Dynamite, I just think Hobbs is just going to come in. It's going to be a decent match, and then he's going to just hit Starks in the back of the neck, and then that's just going to be the end of the match. I'm thinking and then Ricky will come back and say, "I want my rematch. You went after my neck again." We're not done yet. I just think Hobbs needs a nice big push. He's been working his ass off, and I think he deserves it.
All right, can't disagree with you there. Park, what do you think?
The one thing that we all really can agree on is this feud is going to continue on after this show.
Yep.
This feud is going to be a star-making match for both guys. It's just the question on like really who gets the first win. And this is actually one of my hardest ones because really both guys can't really afford to lose. I guess I'm also going to go with Powerhouse Hobbs. Just I feel like just how this is going to go is just we're going to see Ricky Starks like on the verge of winning, and then we're going to see QT Marshall and his cronies come in and cost him the match. I mean, again, this is like I'm not really confident with that prediction just because through the whole feud, Starks has been beaten down, but I don't know. I guess I'll just say Powerhouse Hobbs, but I'm not really confident on that one.
It could really go either way, in my view.
It really can.
And Brian, which way are you going on this?
Well, since this is the 150-50 match that I have on the card, I'm gonna split the room. we're gonna go Ricky Starks. I think out of the two of these guys, Ricky Starks has the most immediate upside. I think Powerhouse Hobbs still needs a little bit of work, but it's like he can get that work through doing more stuff with Ricky Starks, and the way you do that is we're going to see a return of what Simon Miller calls the most devastating move
Oh, the surprise roll up
in wrestling today.
Oh,
I don't think we're gonna get a definitive victory in this one. I think we're gonna get a roll up, and that's how you continue when the babyface beats the heel. That's it.
I like splitting the room.
All right. We've got for our next match, another grudge match. Jungle Boy versus Christian Cage and Jaybird. It's your pickup first. What do you got?
This one's easy. It's going to be Jungle Boy winning after everything that Christian's been through. And it just, everything he's been through. Like, my theory is if Powerhouse is going to get the win over Ricky Starks, Jungle Boy's going to get the win over Christian. And he's going to do it for his dad and everything, for Luke Perry and all that good stuff. So good feud. It's going to be a good blow off. And we're going to have Christian go right back into the trash can where he belongs. So.
And Tarek, your pickup next. Who do you got between Jungle Boy and Christian Cage? Brian, who do you got?
I've got to be the asshole. I've got to be the asshole because I've got no stakes in this game. Luchasaurus turns again.
Oh, that would be interesting.
You guys say there's no stakes that you guys have. When it comes to prediction, there are always stakes because all these predictions get added up to Scholar of the Year.
I've been Scholar of the Year 3 years in a row. I'm fine.
And yet you don't want to keep that going?
MJF is a three-time Diamond Ring.
One match isn't going to kill it.
So you're really going for Christian here?
I'm going with Christian with the Luchasaurus turn. We're getting bad dinosaur.
I'm not going to go quite that far. I'm also going to go with Jungle Boy. This is going to be too much. There's going to be blood everywhere, but ultimately, shut up.
As much as I love Luchasaurus's theme song right now, I kind of wanted his theme song to be in similarities to Tarzan Boy is Walk the Dinosaur.
Yep, I knew you were going to say that.
Get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur.
Get Leo Morcioli to do it for Peanuts, and he'll do a metal cover of Walk the Dinosaur. It'll be amazing.
Yeah, if they gave him the theme song of Walk the Dinosaur, he'd definitely be turning on Sunday. he would turn immediately.
Out the door.
Ain't nobody walking this dinosaur. No.
Hey, it's better than the original idea of giving him Denver, the last dinosaur.
Oh dear.
Man, the younger audience will never get that reference.
Nope, not by a long shot.
Well, speaking of whatever the heck that was,
only scholars can reference Denver, the last dinosaur.
Well, welcome to the Scholars of Nostalgic Cartoons, episode 5. Anyway, we've got our next match. It's a trios match. We've got the House of Black going against the team of Darby Allin, Sting, and Miro. Tarek, I believe it's your pickup first. Who do you got? Tarek?
This is my hardest match on the card.
I gotta say, this is up there with my easiest.
Well, it doesn't seem to be helping Tarek at the current moment.
I'm gonna go Darby, Sting, and Miro because Sting doesn't lose.
Hey, fair enough.
Sting don't lose.
And because it's the obligatory trios match, it's that time again. We have to go to the random pick wheel in the event of a tie. This will break it. Which person in the match will be your tiebreaker wrestler? Tarek?
I bet he gets me. I bet he gets Miro.
Tarek will get Brody King.
Strong pick.
Mm-hmm. All right, Brian, is your pick up next? Who do you got between House of Black and Team Darby?
I've got Team Darby for similar reasons. Sting doesn't lose, and Miro needs to win. I did the House of Black recently have picked up victories, and Miro
except for the trios tournament.
And,
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, like on the last pay-per-view and shows in between, they've won matches where Miro has not really been on TV much, just in promos against the House of Black. So I've got Miro to stretch one of them out. That's it. That's how they get the win.
All right. And speaking of winners, it's now your turn to spin the wheel. Wheel of Wrestlers, spin, spin, spin. Tell us the wrestler who really should win for Brian. And your wrestler is Miro.
Nice.
I knew he was getting. I knew it. Damn it.
Very interesting indeed. I will also go with Team Darby just because Miro definitely above everybody else absolutely needs a win here. So I'm going to go with Team Darby to win. Let's go to the wheel another time to see who my random pick is going to be. Always eliminated for the people who are in title contention. Spin, spin, spin. And the winner is Buddy Matthews. I think everyone is going to be safe there. And next up, we would have Charlie in his pick. So let's pick Charlie's random pick right now. Spin, spin, spin. Who will Charlie get to win? We have for Charlie, Darby Allin. Just barely. Which means Jaybird is now your pick. Who do you got for this one?
I love the House of Black, but they've let me down so many times, and they're gonna let me down again. I'm gonna go with Sting because they've done really good storytelling where Miro beat the Mist, Sting beat the Mist. So therefore, let's go with Sting, Darby Allin, and Miro for the win.
All right.
Sting
that means your final random pick is down between Malachi Black and Sting.
Oh,
who will you get, Jeremy? Who will you get?
Give me the lock.
You will get
Malachi Black.
You will get Sting.
Oh no.
Oh all right.
So Sting,
I'll take it.
in the event of a tie, if Sting gets the pin for his team,
Okay.
you get that extra point to break a tie.
I do bring the question. With all the times that they had Malachi Black and Sting have a stare down, would it be shocking for you guys if Sting actually sided with him? Since we actually we're seeing the blackness of Sting like makeup spread like a disease, kind of similar to how Black is.
I could see it. I could see it, but
I could see it, but not yet. I think it needs a little more.
you gotta get the whole. You gotta get the whole face.
Yeah, I kind of want like the fact that Sting has the like it's spreading on. It's kind of like a symbolism as like a parasite building in and him turning on Darby and joining the House of Black. I don't know. I just think that's just good visual storytelling. That if that's what actually is going on,
I think the possibility exists.
I just love the fact that Miro friggin' ate that Mist disease, and it's just like, I'm fine. Good try though.
Well, yeah, he's a paladin of God. He's immune to disease, and he's got
that was good storytelling. I liked it. So
yeah,
the Redeemer doesn't fall to Mist. No,
nope.
just kidding. No.
And I'm pretty sure we just invented someone's next D&D character in there somewhere, but
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, next match we've got for the AEW tag team titles. We've got Swerve and Our Glory going up against the Acclaimed because everyone loves the Acclaimed. Brian, it's your pick up next. Who do you got?
This is easy. Swerve in Our Glory is not losing. It's not happening. Sorry.
All right. I'm gonna have to go with you because I love my boy Keith Lee. He's great. Jaybird, who you got?
I love the Acclaim. They grew on me for months. They earned their spot, but not tonight. It's gonna be Swerve and Our Glory retaining.
And Tarek, who do you got for this one?
Swerve in Our Glory. I mean, this is a very easy one.
All right. Short, sweet, and to the
because
point.
of Keith. It's just very hard to predict against Keith Lee. It really
I know,
is.
right?
He's just
It
such
is,
a
but-
lovable man.
But they claim we'll get those belts eventually, but not against them.
Yeah, definitely not against them.
Next match on the card, we've got Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho. I'm gonna go with Bryan Danielson because I like him, and Chris Jericho is Teflon, and he. Jeremy, who you got the next pick? Who do you got?
What is it with you and the word Teflon tonight? It's been you said that about 9 friggin' wrestlers.
I'm a fat man and I like to cook. Leave me alone. Leave me and my pans
I
alone.
wasn't even saying that. Teflon can be strong. Anyway, Jesus.
I'm just
Definitely
keeping it
struck-
real over here, okay?
You struck a nerve there, Jeremy.
God damn.
No, I just had that zinger in my back pocket. That's all.
I knew you would. This was a little tough because you have Lionheart losing at Quake of the Lake against Moxley. I got to go with D-Bry because he needs a pay-per-view win. He needs a pay-per-view win, especially after Anarchy in the arena. He needs a win against Jericho. He really needs one.
Okay, and Tarek, your pick up next. Who do you got?
Bryan Danielson.
There you go.
And Brian, are you going with Brian too?
I am going with Bryan Danielson, and it sends Daniel Garcia one step closer to maybe becoming. See, because now you set up if Daniel Garcia comes into the BCC, okay, now you set up maybe a thing John Moxley and Wheeler Yuta and Bryan Danielson and Daniel Garcia, and then they could start a little.
I mean, to
Within the group.
be fair, Garcia and Yuta are fighting for the Pure Championship this coming
Exactly.
week.
Yep.
That'll be his
could
initiation match.
You could and it's like you could start a little inner fight. It's
No.
like it's the BCC. No, it's the BCC. It's like they fight each other.
Yeah, they beat
It's
the
like
hell out of
they
each other
were
for no
in it.
reason.
Yeah, they
No.
fight each other, but the way you're throwing at it's like, no, we're not
you
throwing a
know
civil war.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like you're gonna have matches. You're gonna have tag team matches. John Moxley and Wheeler Yuta versus Bryan Danielson and Daniel Garcia, and the whole world will be fucking happy.
But let me ask you this. If Bryan Danielson and Daniel Garcia team up, what's their tag team name? Bryan Daniel. Daniel Bryan. I said it backwards. There's your tag team name. Comes full circle,
sounds
ladies
so
and gentlemen.
absurd.
And
They would
now we
would
can't.
actually do
And
it.
now we can't have it. We can't have it. We can't have it if it's gonna be that.
How hilariously meta of you.
Team
That's
names aside, now is where we get to the interesting one, because the next match I've got on my run sheet is the casino ladder match.
God damn it.
Oh, it's me. Shit.
To refresh our audience's memory, our competitors will be Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Penta, Ray Phoenix, Roosh, Andrade El Idolo, Dante Martin, and the mysterious Joker. And as you predicted, Jay, it is your pick. Who wins this thing?
Well, I'm screwed. Wait, are we doing picking the Joker, or are we?
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Anybody got any internet rumors? Because I got squat on this match.
Oh,
so
we're not. Nobody say anything.
Jay?
No one say anything.
Jay.
It's up to you, man.
It's
I
all
got
your
squat. I can't pick a Joker. I haven't heard any rumors or anything.
so
I haven't heard.
well, okay, so
Think
let's
about
start
it.
it from the top. Who do you think is going to actually win the match?
Who I think is going to win the match? If I'm going to go for a shot in the dark, I'm going to have to put it on Claudio.
Okay.
I'm terrible at these matches. I never win these.
Well, in that case, if you had to take a guess who the Joker might possibly be, who would you guess?
The Fiend. There you go. You're welcome. Merry Christmas.
Okay. Wyndham it is. Hey, stranger things have happened.
It's not going to happen. There goes my chances out the window on that one.
Hey, Tarek, who's your pick? Next pick. Who wins and
Well-
who's the Joker?
My pick is going to be the Joker to win the match. And the Joker is going to be the heavily rumored returning MJF.
I should have thought that. Oh well.
Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Brian, who do you got?
Once again, the undisputed scholars are of like mind because that was my first thought. I'm like, if he's not gonna, if my first thought was when Moxley dropped that open contract, was that was when he was gonna return, but it's like there's nobody rumored, there's nobody out there on the free agent market right now who I could be like, oh, I'd be excited if this person came in to be the Joker or whatever. And because it's like if Wyndham was gonna show up in AEW, he would have done it by now. He's WWE or bust, that dude. Okay, so
Especially with
at
now
this
Braun
point,
Strowman coming back.
Yeah, I heard that one.
and now
Heard that one.
now it's like the only thing that makes sense to me is MJF coming back and winning it.
All right. I may not be an undisputed scholar just yet, but I'm certainly gonna be on my way, and I'm going to replicate your pick for this one. I think the time is right for MJF to return and make a major splash like he deserves. But that is for Sunday. Also on Sunday, we also have for the AEW Interim Women's Championship, we've got a failed four-way match. Toni Storm, Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and Hikaru Shida. Tarek, who do you got for this one?
I gave my prediction last week, and I'm sticking with it. Toni Storm is going to win the AEW Women's Championship.
Okay.
Pretty much, as I said last week, anyone but Britt.
All right. Brian, who do you got?
It came out during the week that Toni Storm was going to beat Thunder Rosa at this show anyway for the women's title. So any other result doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so it's like Hikaru Shida is in there because she's been women's champion before. Same thing with Britt Baker. I like the fact that they have Jamie Hayter in here. I'd like to see more from her. But there's only one person who should win this match, and it's Toni Storm.
Riders on the storm.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to have to agree with that. Toni Storm is going to be my pick as well. Jeremy, do we have an accord?
Yes, we do, because she looks like my wife. It's going to be Toni Storm. Let's go.
As he said for the fifth time in a voice.
And I'm going to keep that going.
Hey, I think that's just.
Hey,
I just think that's
roll
just
with the punches and enjoy your life, sir. I'm not going to blame you.
I was pissed. That was actually the one match I was looking forward to. One of the matches on this card was going to be Thunder Rosa versus Toni Storm, and then shit happened. So,
injury curse.
We'll get there eventually. But elsewhere, we also have another trios match. We've got Wardlow and FTR going up against Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns. Brian, it's your pick up next. Who do you got?
If anyone says other than Wardlow and FTR, then they're not allowed on our show anymore. There's no reason. The Motor City Machine Guns, okay, aren't even a part of AEW. They're not even a part of ROH. Okay, Jay Lethal's a part of ROH. FTR and Wardlow are one of the biggest things, are both two of the biggest things you've got going right now. Okay, no, there's no other possible. It's gonna be a good showing, but no, it's FTR and Wardlow. I'm sorry. And don't get me wrong, I love the Motor City Machine Guns. I watched them when they were in TNA. They were one of my favorite things about that promotion when it was actually good. Okay, but it's like no.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to go Team Wardlow as well for all those things you just said because I'm a damn coward. Jay Bird, who do you got?
since I bombed out the casino ladder match, I'm actually going to be smart. I'm going to go with FTR and Wardlow. Like you said it, Brian. Motor City Machine Guns is one of my all-time favorite tag teams next to Beer Money Incorporated. Just to see them wrestle on AEW makes me happy, but they're going to go up against the TNT champion and the AAA Ring of Honor and the IWGP tag team champions. They're not going to win. No way.
Much gold.
Tarek, do we have an accord or what?
Just need one more set of belts.
Tarek, do we have an accord?
It's like Brian said earlier. You're not a coward when you know it's true. Wardlow and FTR, hands down. This is probably going to be one of the shortest matches.
I think it's going to be one of the best matches, personally.
Oh, I'm not saying it's not going to be one of the best. It's just going to be one of the on the short ends. Just because it's Wardlow.
Hey, probably. Maybe we'll have to see. But elsewhere, we also are coming up on the grand finals of the AEW Trios Championship Tournament. We've got Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks facing either the Dark Order or the Best Friends. And I don't think it's out of line to say that Kenny Omega and the Omega Bucks are going to win this one and become the inaugural Trios champions. Because let's face it, this was made for Omega, so whatever. Jaybird, do we agree or disagree?
Dynamite blew my whole friggin' story apart. I had everything planned to the T for the tournament, and Hangman steps in. So I'm calling it now. Tomorrow night on Rampage, it's going to be the Dark Order and Hangman taking on the Elite. And when it comes down to it, unless by some act of God, if Undisputed Elite shows up and screws the Elite out, it's going to be the Dark Order and Hangman, but it's going to be the Elite winning, going all the way.
So the Omega Bucks you're going to pick for the win.
They're the Elite. They're not the Omega Bucks. They're the Elite, buddy.
Omega Bucks it is. Tarek, who do you got?
This decision was made the second Tony Khan said he's holding on, bringing these titles in until Kenny Omega comes back. It's Kenny Omega and the Bucks. Kenny and the Bucks. Kenny.
I'm just more pissed.
Brian, help me escape Tarek's impression of singer
Elton John.
Elton John. I can't brain today. Brian, help me out here.
Kenny and the Bucks.
I said help me out here, not give me an aneurysm.
You know exactly. Come on. I had my thoughts when the tournament started, before all the stuff came out about Bobby Fish and all that there was a possibility that the Undisputed Elite could come in and screw these guys out of the championships. I thought that could happen, but now they've reached the finals. If they weren't gonna get the titles, they would have never reached the finals. So it's here you go, Jeff. The Omega Bucks are winning the titles.
Was that so hard? I don't think so.
I give you an aneurysm and then I take it back.
I will say,
such is my life.
I had no idea Bobby Fish was 45 years old.
Yep.
I keep forgetting that, but yeah, I've heard that fact enough. Yeah.
In all honesty, I just at first when I read that he was not renewing his contract, I'm just thinking, oh, he'll probably just jump back to WWE. But what are they going to do with him there? I think that he's gonna just get a new contract with AEW just to be a trainer. I think that he'll finish his contract as an in-ring performer and just work back behind the camera. Be a trainer. I think that would work wonders for him.
We'll see. But anyway, that does finally, at long last, bring us to our main event of the evening. It's a return match. Jon Moxley, the undisputed AEW champion, defending against CM Punk in Chicago. And Jaybird, it's your final pick of the evening. What do you got for this one?
Of course he gets the final pick on this one.
I'm going to be very simple. I hated the squash match they did last week. It was an absolute disgrace. It was some stupid Vince McMahon bullshit booking. One blemish from AEW. That's the one thing that pissed me off, probably since they've been in creation. But I don't care what anybody says. Punk's taking that belt back. Let's go, best in the world, baby. He's going to get it back.
All right, Tarek, who do you got for this one?
Honestly, with how I've been seeing this going, I'm also going to predict that CM Punk is going to win. I think this is a heel turn for Punk. I think this is going to solidify him as the top heel of the company, and it's leading to now a face MJF facing a heel CM Punk for the next event. What is the next?
It's going to be Full Gear, and rumors are that's going to be in Prudential Center.
Yep.
What?
Yep. And
rumors are going around that's going to be announced that Full Gear is going to be at Prudential Center in Newark, our neck of the woods.
We're getting tickets then.
Hey, it's looking upbeat. It's looking upbeat. But until then, Brian, who do you got for this match? Brian, who do you got?
Now the winner, I will agree. It has to be CM Punk at this point. Okay, I disagree that the squash match was the biggest disgrace ever, because I don't think that a heel turn for CM Punk works if you get a full match. I think you needed that to happen in order for what's going to happen on Sunday to fully work. So it's one of those, in the moment it might have pissed you off, but at the end of it you will realize why that needed to happen. And I'm happy that Moxley got his 2 weeks of being the only two-time AEW champion. He got his 2 weeks of being the first ever, and he got to fight in front of people. Okay, but you don't do what you did during that show. You don't have the promos that you cut during this week's Dynamite and then have CM Punk lose again.
No.
It's one of those where it's hard to believe after how handily he was beat that he could come back and beat that dude. But if any two guys can make that story work, okay, in this company, if there's any two guys who can make that work and make it understandable and make what happened last week make sense to what's going on right now, it's those two in the title picture right now. If anybody can make any of this work, it's Punk and Moxley. So if they were gonna pull, if they picked the two right people to pull what they pulled last week in order to make everything that's about to happen work, and in order for it to fully work, CM Punk needs to win on Sunday.
Couldn't have said any better myself. It looks like we got consensus. Our prediction collectively, CM Punk. And at long last, we are at the end of the road. Those are our predictions, all of them, for not just Clash at the Castle, but also AEW All Out. Now we're pitching it over to you, our fellow fans. Who do you think is going to walk away with some gold? What's going to happen at both Clash at the Castle and All Out? Is MJF really coming back? We want to hear from you. So drop us a line all across the internet. And hey, if you're feeling extra saucy, check out our link tree in the description, or you can just go to linktree/Scholars of Wrestling and play our prediction game for AEW All Out. It's always a good time. And of course, if you want to join the conversation and the live tweeting the night of, you can always check us out on our personal Twitter accounts. Tarek, where can they reach you?
You can reach me referencing Scholar Jeff's old wrestling radio show back in the college days, Rockin' Wrestling Hour. Rockin' Wrestling Weekend.
Okay, that is a deep cut. Not even I've thought about that in a good 10 plus years. Damn. Anyway,
but you can find me enjoying this Rockin' Wrestling Weekend at the Avatar.
Brian, where can they reach you?
You can find me minding my own damn business at Atomic Beanpole.
And Jaybird, where can they reach you?
You can find me at Hero Huey 316.
And you can catch me enjoying all of these deep cuts from my college days at I'm Robbie Rage. Join in the conversation, play the games, and enjoy every second of it. You know we're going to enjoy the show because you know who we are. We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
See you all when we go all out.